Hey everyone, my name's Rue, and we are here. This is going to be week number 9, I believe, of the PCL, the Pokemon Championship League, and we're up against Tone. I've never faced off against him before, but he's been in a lot of spaces that I've been in. I got to know him a little bit. He's a really nice guy, and we are here. This is a really interesting matchup. I don't quite know how I feel about it, but he does bring the Mega Gallade, the Seismitoad, Aegislash, Hydreigon, Reuniclus, and Nihilego. I believe I called his team for the most part, except I thought he was going to bring the Clefable. Let me see. He brought the Gallade instead of the Clefable, I believe, and that's the only one that No. He brought the Clefable. He didn't bring the Clefable, and he didn't bring the Crobat, but he brought the Reuniclus, and he brought the Mega Gallade, which are the two slots that I have off from what I thought. So I have the screenshot here, and I think I'm ready. I don't know quite what I want to lead off with. Part of me just wants to lead off with the Tentacruel. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead off with the Tentacruel. He might want to lead off with the Seismitoad, and that's just going to have to be something that I deal with, but at the same time, he could assume that I could lead off with something to threaten it. I don't have the Celebi, which is super unfortunate, but I didn't feel like it had the best matchup in this situation. I guess we'll just have to see. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this matchup. I don't like it right now, but I don't feel the worst about it. Definitely not the worst. So yeah, for sure, I think what I want to do is just click Toxic Spikes turn 1. I think that's going to do me a decent amount of good for the longer run. Obviously, as a Nihilego to absorb them, but if I can force in really anything to deal with that before that wants to come in, then that would put me in a pretty decent spot. And for the most part, I should be able to just deal with this thing, I think. So what would I want to go into now? Part of me really just wants to go into the Crocodile, try to get some rocks up of my own. He might want to go for an Earthquake. I will get an Intimidate off, so that'll be something. But, if nothing else, I should be able to get rocks up for relatively free, and the Toxic Spikes might get up on something. So if I force in the Gallade, then getting that Toxic early would be pretty crucial, but I could force in a lot of things that he might. The main thing is that it's not going to force in the Nihilego right off the bat. I might just want to click Knockoff right now. Gallade gets justified though, right? Like regular Gallade? Yeah, it does get justified. He could definitely want to go for that. I'm just gonna click Stealth Rocks. He's probably gonna just get a Scald off right now, I would guess. Goes for an Ice Punch. Okay. So this is fully physical, and this thing is intimidated. So, for right now, I think I can give it this Crocodile for the damage on the Seismitoad. I could definitely just go for an Earthquake right now. See, I was so afraid of the Crobat that I packed Stone Edge on this thing. Yeah, that is pretty darn decent damage. I got knocked off, which is unfortunate, but I am getting really good damage onto this thing, which is pretty big for the game overall. You might want to go into the Hydreigon. I'm going to click Knockoff. If nothing else, to try to mitigate its leftovers. And the thing is that this is one of really the only things that really stops the rest of my team from doing really what it wants to do. And I also just want to gauge damage. So Earthquake... Oh, so this thing is definitely not max defense. Probably max special defense, I would guess. It's definitely... It's almost certainly max HP. I'm not too sure. It might be max defense. Because that Earthquake did about... What, 30-ish%? Yeah, it might just be. Dusting in and let me get the knockoff off. Just goes for another Ice Punch. I mean, this trade is not great, but it's definitely not the worst trade that I could imagine making. It's definitely not the worst trade that I could imagine making in this situation. Ooh, I do get frozen. I do get frozen. If I do get taken out, what does that mean for me? If I do get taken out, what does that mean for me? No, I have to just click Earthquake. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, that's going to force me in a bad spot because it's going to give him momentum overall. And in all honesty, I was kind of hoping that... no, I don't know. What can I do? This thing is intimidated. This thing is intimidated. So would that allow my Magearna to get a shift gear up right now? I know Earthquake. Is super effective, but at the same time, it is intimidated. So let me see here. At -1, it's barely doing a third. But what would it allow in? Man, I might just want to do that. Is that crazy to do right now? I've only seen Ice Punch, Rocks, and Earthquake. The last move could be Scald, but even then, Scald is not gonna do much more than Earthquake. Oh wait, no, this is not a Shift Gear Magearna, it's a Calm Mind Magearna. I think I'll take the slightly safer route and I'll go into my Zygarde. He's not going to be able to know that my Zygarde is banded, but my Zygarde is banded. And I think my Zygarde... Yeah, my Zygarde naturally outspeeds his entire team. The Heat Lego or the Hydreigon is very, very likely Scarfed. But I don't know what I do about that. Again, my Zygarde is banded. I don't know if that allows me any crazy rolls here. Hydreigon. Hydreigon would need a little bit of chip damage in order for me to be able to handle it better. But if the Hydreigon doesn't have Defog, then that would be super interesting. Zygarde will get the first KO. Whatever he brings in will be super interesting. He could definitely bring in the Hydreigon. I wonder... The Hydreigon might allow me to bring in the Magearna. But he could expect that. He could go for Earth Power if he's really feeling spicy. But then he's risking a fat Outrage. Or even just being 2 hit by 1,000 arrows. I don't know. I don't know. What's his best chance of taking this? Yeah, a weakness policy Aegis Slash would be super unfortunate. I don't know what I do in this situation. It goes into this REUNICLUS. So, okay. Is this ever something that I... Is damage onto this REUNICLUS ever a trade-off that I make? It could go for Trick Room, which would be bananas. A max defense, 1,000 arrows, I don't even do half. But you know what? The fact that this thing, it took him so long to decide to bring this in makes me think that it's not max defense. If it's just max HP, then I do over half. I really think he's going to take this turn. Would he go for HP Ice? If he does, it's at the end of the world for me. If he does, it's at the end of the world. You know what? REUNICLUS is going to be a pain. I'm going to hit this 1,000 arrows. Part of me really thinks that he goes for a Calm Mind here. Goes for the Trick Room. Okay, that's totally fair play. Totally fair play. But I think what that lets me do is it gives me an opportunity to go into Magearna. I think that that's what that does. If nothing else, it might be Mono Psychic, Trick Room, Psychic, Calm Mind, and Recover. Goes for Psy Shock, which is interesting because my Magearna is naturally physically defensive. Yeah, that might be his only attack. And if it's not, then I'm gonna get some Calm Minds up. Honestly, I think we're gonna Calm Mind up together. But I'm for certain getting one Calm Mind up. Yeah, this will be a really interesting sequence here. Let me see. So that damage, I did about what? 60%? 65? So I don't even think that... Oh, that's probably just max HP. It could be max special defense. Yeah, I think that's what that looks like to me. So if I have Magearna in here, and we get to +1 special attack, then Dazzling Gleam... Well, no, I should give this thing max special defense. It could be max HP, max attack, max special attack, but no. Hidden Power, HP Fire, okay. Oof, that is a lot of damage. But I think with Calm Mind and Leftovers, I think Leftovers might just barely get me out of range of a second one. But that said, I'm 100% giving up my Magearna for this thing, which is really unfortunate. My Magearna had a good matchup in the situation. And I really should have been paying more attention to the exact roll, but I think being at +1 and the Leftovers... Oh my god, yeah, no. I was right about that. My instincts were right about that. Okay, so we're okay, because Trick Room's going to be over soon. If I have one turn to Trick Room left, that would be insane. But that might not be the case. And, my main Mons are still up. So my Zygarde, my Komao, those Mons are still up and can still hit hard. Goes into this thing. So here's the thing, right? This is the final turn, right? Yes? Let's see. Okay, I have one turn to Trick Room left. Which means this thing outspeeds me. It honestly makes me think that this thing, wants to go for an Autotomize. Aegis Slash. It honestly makes me think that this thing wants to go for an Autotomize. And it could be weakness policy. At +1, even Hidden Power Ground isn't doing a whole lot, but I think it's going to be my best bet to get some decent damage off on this thing. I think I just go for it here. I'm going to click Hidden Power Ground. Yeah, that Hidden Power Fire on that REUNICLUS really did catch me off guard. Goes into Blade form. So just wanting to take me out, I guess that's fine. But that is really interesting because it will allow in my Zygarde for absolutely free, and we'll get a really strong Banded 1,000 Arrows off. And again, I still outspeed his entire team. Actually, what it also does, it allows in my Pyroar in for absolutely free as well. But I think that's too many head games for right now. Honestly, what I really want to do is go into Tentacruel and try to get some Scalds off. Because Tentacruel can start to threaten... but this thing could try to set up Swords Dances. Yeah, I think the best play is to go into my Zygarde and start doing as big damage as I can right now. You might go for the 1,000 arrows, for the King Shield, just to get itself into shield form, but if that's the case, so we know it's not weakness policy. We saw the leftovers. You know it's not weakness policy. If that's the case, then I get a fat 1,000 arrows off, but I don't take it out. It probably goes for what, like Iron Head and takes me out? I don't know. What would that do? What would that do? I mean, honestly, that might allow me to switch into my... Goes for Shadow Sneak. So, just giving this thing up for damage onto my Zygarde. He might want to Shadow Sneak... He might be expecting me to want to Shadow Sneak my Zygarde with Gallade in a little bit. Actually, he can probably take me out right now if he goes into Gallade right now. Gallade. Gallade Mega with Shadow Sneak. Oh, Shadow Sneak doesn't take me out. Shadow Sneak from a Gallade does not take me out. That's interesting. He doesn't have a priority on the rest of his team. The fact that he's not going into Hydreigon right now makes me think that it's not Scarfed, which it would have to be just to outspeed me naturally. And Nihilego isn't even coming in, which is really interesting. Nihilego isn't even coming in, so one of them you would think would be Scarfed. But he's not going into either. I don't know what that means yet, but maybe maybe he thinks he really needs to save the Hydreigon for Komao? I don't know what that is, even a little bit. I think I have to switch out here. Let me see. Hydreigon. Yeah, 1,000 arrows does a lot, but definitely not enough. So what I would really like to do is go into... Maybe go into, Tentacruel here? I think I'll do that. Maybe he's avoiding going into the Gallade to avoid getting Toxic Spiked for that residual damage that, Probably is going to throw off a lot of calcs for him, I would imagine. Goes for Dark Pulse. We take that decently well. Now, I really could go for a Dazzling Gleam here, but I could go for... Yeah, no, because he wouldn't want to switch out. His only options would be the Glade or the Nihilego, right? And he wouldn't want to switch into a Scald on either. He definitely wouldn't want to risk a Glade Scald. So maybe he wants to stay in and go for Earth Power? And I mean, I would have to take an Earth Power, but if I can take it, then I can get a Dazzling Gleam off, and that would be something. That would be something. But getting a Rapid Spin off here would be so clutch as well. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Does withdraw. That's super interesting. If he goes into the Glade, that would be super interesting. Goes into the Nihilego. So it does absorb the Toxic Spikes. And forces me to reveal Dazzling Gleam. I could go for a Scald. I could go for a Rapid Spin here. I could go for a Rapid Spin here. Is Scald even worth it at this point? Tentacruel against Nihilego. This is honestly anyone's game, still. Nihilego. Scald against Nihilego is... should bring it under half? I should bring it under half. Maybe it's more worth it just to collect Rapid Spin. I don't know yet. I'm gonna click Rapid Spin here. Goes for Thunderbolt. I feel like we take this. We do take it. We do just barely take it. But we will get the Rapid Spin off. And, he definitely could try to switch up his moves in order to maybe catch me on a switch or something. I don't even know what item this thing is. Maybe I could figure something out with that Thunderbolt damage? That honestly could just be a modest max attack Nihilego. If it's modest, maybe it's Scarfed. I don't know. Well, no, if it's Scarfed, you would never go for Thunderbolt, I don't think. Yeah, I think I'll just let this thing go down. I don't even think it's worth trying to make a switch and make any type of play here. I don't see any planet where he goes for Thunderbolt. And he's also Scarfed. So if he does take me out, then it would let in my Zygarde for free, and I get a really big hit onto something. And since rocks are off the field, I can try to make some plays there, but my instinct is to say that as long as I, remain a mon ahead, then I'm in a good spot overall, but I don't know, that might not be true. He might have himself positioned well enough where he can force me in a bad position to break both of my mons, or two of my mons for one of his mons, and in that case, then he can get ahead of me in that way. But goes for Thunderbolt again, man. Is this thing choice? I don't see a planet where you choice yourself into Thunderbolt, though. Special attack Beast Boost. So is he giving this thing up? I could lock myself in Outrage as well. I could lock myself in Outrage. Zygarde. No, that would be a bad idea in case the Hydreigon is Scarfed. Yeah, that's a bad idea if the Hydreigon is Scarfed. This thing is not Scarfed. This should be a KO here. And now we're in an interesting position. If the Hydreigon comes in, it's probably Scarfed. But if the Hydreigon comes in, what the hell do I do? Dragon Pulse probably takes me out, but that makes my Como not want to come in. If the Gallade comes in, then I probably just take the damage on Gallade and let this thing go down. What even kind of damage am I doing to Gallade? I do big damage to Gallade. I do very decent damage to Gallade. Maybe bring out my Zygarde was putting myself out of position here. He's thinking so much about this Hydreigon play. It makes me... interesting. Goes into this thing. I don't know what that means. Maybe I give up my Pyroar. Maybe I give up my Pyroar. Do I give up my Pyroar? I don't know. If I give up my Pyroar, then my Como can come in and he Zen Headbutts me and I get hacked. If I give up my Como, then... if I give up my Como, then my Pyroar can come in. No. Then my Zygarde can come back in. I click Outrage. I take this thing out, and then it would be... Hydreigon versus Pyroar. I mean, assuming the Hydreigon is Scarfed. I'm still under the assumption that the Hydreigon is Scarfed. Maybe that is the best play. Just to give up the Como? Maybe just to give up the Como. I could be choking. If this is choking, then I don't know what to say. But my Como without a Dragon Dance is not going to do much right now, and... I don't know. Goes for the Drain Punch. This could 100% be a choke. We take that decently well, but we're not going to take a Zen Headbutt. If it's the case that he did not bring the Zen Headbutt, if he couldn't find the room for the Zen Headbutt, then I would be blown away. I would be absolutely blown away. But no, I have to click Outrage here. Let's go for the Zen Headbutt. I don't think there's really any chance that we take that. No. But it does allow my Zygarde to come in and click Outrage. The fact that he didn't go for Shadow Sneak makes me think that he doesn't have it. And Bandit Outrage is more than a 50-50 chance to OHKO to a no-bulk Mega Gallade. But that has to be the button that I click right now. We click Outrage, and I absolutely need this roll. Wow. Yeah, no, we did not OHKO at all. Well, I guess the only way that I win is if Pyroar takes a Drain Punch. I think the only way that I win is if Pyroar takes a Drain Punch. And that's not going to be a thing. That's not going to be a thing. I probably choke somewhere, but I thought I played this as well as I could have. Thing is, I almost brought a scarfed one too. That's a rough one. That's honestly a rough one. But, man. In honesty, this match might have just ended my season. But, that's going to put us at 4-5. It's going to put us in a pretty rough spot. We are going to have to bounce back from this pretty darn hard. That's a pretty upsetting way to lose. Man, I guess I should have been a little bit more aggressive with Como earlier. Putting my McGarren in that bit positioning wasn't the best. I guess there's a lot of stuff that I probably should have done better. For the record, my pyro was Charty Berry to try to bait in the knee Lego, but that was, man, yeah, I don't know. All right, in any case, that's gonna be it for week 9. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be back with the final few weeks of the PCL and a few other things coming up in the near future. But once again, with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and once again, out.